Indonesia, we are supermarket of disaster. We have more than 12 perils. We have flood. We have earthquake. We have tsunami. We have forest fire. We have landslide and everything. But the thing is, we don't have yet an integrated disaster risk management and also disaster risk financing. We rely more on ex-post intervention like budget allocation, reallocation, and then international aid and also tax relief, but we don't have the ex-ante one. We don't have balance between ex-ante and ex-post. We do have now agriculture insurance, but it's only pilot project. Now we start to have a balance between ex ante and ex post. And another thing is we want to protect our public finance because we have a fiscal risk because of disaster. We have a very limited budget to finance the disaster. And then also now we're reaching like 78% of mandatory spending in our budget. So we need to have innovative financing in disaster. That's why I personally come here to assist my minister, to assist my organization to do this reform. I personally come here because I need to enhance my capacity. That's first. Second thing is I need to help my organization because I am assigned by my boss, by my minister, by my deputy minister to take care of this reform, to have better understanding on option, on policy strategy, on policy intervention, and on how we coordinate with our hundreds stakeholders. That's why I came here. Yes, Ministry of Finance, especially in Indonesia, is a very powerful minister. So on one thing we decide we assign budget for our line ministries because line ministry is related with the disaster. Another thing is Minister of Finance also responsible for finding innovative financing for disaster financing, disaster risk reduction financing. That's the important role for Minister of Finance. Yes, first that we have regulation challenges. For example, when we decided, well, not decided, when we recognize option on financing, for example, on a CAT DDO, for example, we need to adjust some regulation that will be fit with the World Bank, World Bank requirement on this financing scheme. We need to adjust. We also need to educate people to understand them. But this is investing. This is not a regular loan, for example, like that. So that's challenges because understanding the financing in different circumstances is very important because like our society understand that this is the responsibility of the government to fund the disaster risk, but they don't really notice how we generate the money. So we have to understand them that there are many options on generating the funding for disaster risk. So the challenge is to make sure that this is under the good governance, under the government capacity to take care of the financing, and we make sure that this is part of our responsibility to protect people, to protect public financing, and also to protect our asset.